right? So collectively, student loans make up $1.57 trillion in 2020, which is a 12% increase from $1.4 trillion in 2019. And as more applicants apply for student loans, the total amount of debt will only increase within the following years. So based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, around 62% of men and 69.8% of women, both of whom are in between the ages of 16 and 24, are planning or already enrolled into a college. So this is due to the fact that most young people believe that they need to train and educate themselves by enrolling into a degree program in hopes that they will be able to find a well-paid job in the future. This is especially prevalent within high school, as students, teachers, and student counselors often promote the idea of students enrolling into colleges, even offering scholarship programs as an incentive. And thus, this would drive up the demand of enrollment due to the already increasing cost. And as I previously stated, the cost of enrollment the total amount of student debt has increased by 12% in 2019 and 2020, but this trend has been constantly going for the past 20 years. So as you see in this chart, right? So this chart right here, created by Mark Kontrowitz, who is nationally regarded for his specialty in student financial aid. And this graph represents the average debt for a bachelor graduate in between the years of 1992 and 2018. So as you can see, in 1992, the average graduate often has below $10,000 in debt, which has tripled over the past decades. In 2018, as the average graduate student often had at least around $30,000, below $30,000 in debt. And this may vary from person to person depending on which school you go to and how long it took you to finish your education. So the major issue with this is that paying off your student loan can be extremely burdening, especially when you have tens of thousands of dollars in debt. So essentially, students are betting on their ability for them to be able to get a job and pay off their debt in the future. And then this would lead for them to invest in other properties such as a house. But that is not so simple, since there are several circumstances that would inhibit someone to pay off their debts or getting a job in the first place, such as this COVID epidemic. Which leads to my next point, that students often risk getting more obligatory expenses in the following years after they graduated, which also worsens the burdening of having student loan debt in the first place. So essentially, most people find that paying off their debt extremely difficult and time-consuming, as 40% of Americans feel that living the American dream often means paying off their student debt, based on an article written by Mark Kontrowitz in 2020. So as you see in this graph here, so this is the average education cost between 1971 and in 2019, 2018 dollars. Well, as you can see, between 1971 and 2019, it has nearly tripled over the years. But however, and this represents only annual costs, not like all 4 or 5 years of tuition. And this actually varies from person to person. Let's say if you were to go to a prestigious school like Stanford University, it would cost like significantly more than if you were to like, San Jose State. So one of the examples of having student loans that can actually burden you is the fact that you may risk not being able to pay them off, and thus this would significantly decrease your credit score, which diminishes your liberty of investing in other properties, such as buying a house or a car or leasing an apartment, all of which are essential in modern society today. So overall, the point of this speech is to warn you that applying for a student loan could potentially extremely burdening for someone. However, everyone has different financial circumstances, which could allow someone to feel the liberty and freedom that they have promised after obtaining a well-paid job, or be stuck in huge financial debt. However, the point of this speech is simply to relay the trend of decreasing student loans over the past several decades. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you for listening.